letrufah, letter 278. Eternally yours. With God's help, Thursday, Tzav, 5599, Breslov. Warm greetings to my dear beloved son, the learned of Yitzchak, may he live. I received your letter, along with a letter from Rebbe Ephraim, may his light shine. And I was really pleased. I also received another letter. At the moment, I have no news, but since I know your enormous desire to hear words of truth, I decided to tell you a little of what I said last Shabbos about the greatness of speaking to and expressing oneself before God. I mentioned something I saw in the Medrash, which cites the verse, "Is Ephraim my precious son? Is he a charming child? Once I start, is Ephraim my precious son? Is he a charming child? Once I start to speak of him, I remember him more and more." The Medrash explains what child is charming: a 2 or 3-year-old. Another opinion says a 4 or 5-year-old. The commentaries explain that the opinion which says that the verse's charming child is a 2 or 3-year-old understands it to mean that even though such a child can only communicate through pointing and half speech, his father is charmed when he talks and does what the child asks. The other opinion, i.e., that the expression charming child means a 4 or 5-year-old, understands that a child that age speaks properly and requests things from his father in fluent speech, saying, "Give me this," or "Give me that," and his father does as he asks. Even though it is not explained in the commentary in quite so much detail, I elaborated on it, for I, in my destitution, drew a great deal of inspiration from this regarding our own concern, i.e. how the Rebbe cautioned us to express ourselves before God every day. Thank God. I gleaned tremendous encouragement and inspiration from this Medrash, for we can understand from this that even if a person cannot speak before God at all and is unable to express himself well, even if he only talks in broken speech and can only hint at what he wants to say like a 2 or 3-year-old, it is still precious in God's eyes. Sometimes too, God helps a person and he speaks in full sentences, like a child of 4 or 5. When Israel speaks to God and tells them what they need, God cherishes them in just the same way, and they are called my charming child. When Israel speaks to God and tells them what they need, God cherishes them in just the same way, and they are called my charming child. You should also look up what appears there on the end of the verse. Midai, once I start to speak of him, my speech that I placed in him is enough. Midai, once I start to speak of him, my speech that I placed in him is enough. From this too, one can understand the enormous value of speech. It is impossible to explain this in writing, especially since the deliverer of this letter is extremely pressured, so I must keep it short. But from this, you can understand hints and how to strengthen yourself to speak and to express yourself to your Creator at all times, wherever you can. Surely it is better to speak articulately in complete sentences, but even when a person is unable to speak fluently, his inarticulate speech is still precious, like nanach, nachman, like the speech of a charming child of 2 or 3, nanach, nachma. Understand this well and apply it in accordance with its plain meaning. It is your life eternally, for it is impossible to make it safely through this world, except by means of what I just wrote here. For it is impossible to make it safely through this world except by means of what I just wrote here. Our only strength is in our mouths. May God put joy in your heart, and may you merit to receive the approaching holy festival of Pesach and holiness with proper observance and in great joy, riding hurriedly, Nosson of Breslov, letter 279. With thanks to God that Thursday before morning prayer, Shmini 5599, my dear beloved son, I received your letter yesterday in the late afternoon from your brother, Rebbe. May he live. I did not have any time to read it because I had already begun to pray the afternoon service. And I read it after the evening prayers. I really felt terribly sorry for you, because all your letters are full of cries, calls, and yearnings to truly come back to God. But I also know that most people, even those of previous generations, have gone through 1,000, 10,000 times what you have, as I have heard and understood from the Rebbe's holy mouth, and as I myself have seen, heard, and understood from thousands of people, and as I myself have seen, heard, and understood from thousands of people and from the holy books. I have already spoken about this a great deal, so why should I go on about it? Have not a rabbi said explicitly, a person's evil urge is renewed in him every day, and were it not for the help of the Holy One, blessed be he would not be able to prevail. As it is said, the evil man waits for the righteous and seeks to kill him, but God does not abandon him to his hand. No one spoke about this so much or accomplished so much with his words forever as did our master, teacher, and awesome rebbe. No one spoke about this so much or accomplished so much with his words forever as did our master, teacher, and awesome rebbe of blessed memory. I therefore suppose that I really had nothing to answer you, seeing that I have already spoken about this extensively and that a great deal is already in print and in writing. What more could I say? But in spite of all this, there is no study hall without a new idea, especially since the most important thing is that the words of the Torah do not grow old for a person, God forbid. For it is forbidden to allow them to become old and stagnant, God forbid. They should be literally new every day. This is the foundation of the entire Torah, which we were taught in the paragraph, which we were taught in the paragraph Shema Yisrael on the verse, and these words that I am commanding you today. The rabbis comment on this verse, let them be new for you every day. So I have come to remind and encourage you, my dear son, to be sure to fulfill this anew every day and look at the holy words of the Rebbe, a blessed memory, literally as if for the first time. I have already warned you well that these words of the rabbis themselves, i.e. that they be new, must also never grow old for you, God forbid, and so on forever. Understand this well. Incline your ear now, hear my words anew, and know that not long ago there was a great holy and extremely awesome tzaddik who at all times gave over his entire being for the most basic good, to show compassion to them, i.e. the Jewish people, and to bring them back to right with amazing awesome advice. For this is the essence of true compassion for the whole people of Israel. The Rebbe, with his marvels and his colossal understanding, informed us that a Jew ought to inspire and fortify himself every day with every single good point. Every day, to inspire and fortify himself every day with every single good point that he can look for and still find in himself. And he taught this through the verses with a little bit. He is no longer evil, and I will sing to God with what I have left. He subsequently said that this was the reason he was traveling to Lemberg, and he revealed an awesome teaching about the tabernacle with the true tzaddikim built in every generation. And he enlightened eyes which are looking to the truth. With his explanation of the Mishnah. The cantor sees from what place the children are reading. Who has heard anything like this? I, in my destitution, was thinking only about this for several hours lying in my bed before I got up in order to answer you, to build you up and to give you new life through this. As the Rebbe urged us explicitly, telling us to go with this teaching. And he moved his holy hand in an expression of awesome desire that he very much wanted us to apply this teaching. And as I have already told you briefly, there is more than this in my heart which I am unable to express, and even more than I too do not know. And even more than I too do not know. However, I believe and very remotely understand that this pathway is wondrous, lovely, awesome, powerful, and correct. However, I believe and very remotely understand that this pathway is wondrous, lovely, awesome, powerful, and correct. It is also possible to find the whole idea of Pesach through this teaching. Pesach is bound up with the concept of the kindness of Avraham, because our father Avraham was the first to reveal God's divinity in his world. It was on Pesach the angels came to Avraham to announce that Yitzchak would be born, and it was then that he baked matzah and so forth. Rashi and Genesis. It was Avraham who started drawing people closer to God, and his primary way of doing this was through kindness. For he inclined to the side of loving kindness and found merit in each person whom he wanted to come close. This is the whole idea of Pesach. As it is said about the Jewish people, you were naked and uncovered, and I saw you rolling around in your blood, i.e. in your folly and in your debasement of your physical desires. And I said, the verse continues, in your blood you shall live, that is, even amidst the powerful sweep of your blood, i.e. the appetites which come from a heating up of the blood. Even in the midst of this you shall live. You have so many good points, and time again you prevail to yearn for true good and to switch yourself and your thoughts from bad to good. This is the essential characteristic of man which places him above the angels, i.e. that he has an evil impulse such as this and diversions such as these, and then he is in the middle of a world like this which is full of lies, illusions, diversions, and the struggle to make a living, etc. This is the reason that every single good movement is precious in God's eyes. Above all else, all our vitality, hope, and joy is in the power of the holy elder of elders. Above all this, all of our vitality, hope, and joy is in the power of the holy elder of elders. Thank God we have more than enough to lean on. Thank God we have more than enough to lean on. Remember this and take courage. Fortify yourself with everything He has done with us. Had He only revealed this lesson as Zamra, it would have been enough. But revealed so many more awesome lessons, wondrous stories, and holy conversations. Without a doubt, He will finish what He's begun and awaken us from our sleep through all the holy and awesome things that He is engaged in. For He is still standing and praying for us, along with all the tzaddikim who dwell on the ground. Were it not for this, we would have absolutely no existence at all, as it is written in the Holy Zohar. If the tzaddikim who have died were not praying for the living, the world would not continue to exist even for a moment. What more can I say to you? My dear son and friend, there is certainly, thank God, more than enough that I could add, but there is not enough time. Nor is there space on the page. My words are in front of you in writing in my books. Study them over and over. They include a great deal on Pesach and the Sefira. Praise the living God. The time of the morning prayers has arrived. My whole intention in writing this letter was to fulfill the commandments. Teach them to your children, and tell them to your children and your children's children. This is particularly appropriate before Pesach, when we must answer the son who asks questions, especially when he asks wisely. Blessed is the ever-present, blessed is He. The Torah, blessed is the ever-present, blessed is He. The Torah speaks of four sons, a wise one, a wicked one, a simple one, and one who does not know how to ask. Praise God, in our days wonders were revealed such as this. The titles of these four sons spell out in acrostic shachris, i.e. the morning prayers. The Chut Moran 136. For fortunate are the ears that hear such things. Happy are the eyes which see this in His holy books. Were I to start talking about this now, the time would run out. The Rebbe's thoughts are very deep indeed. The crucial point written there is that the more seriously a person is ill spiritually, the greater the Rebbe he needs to instill in him a conception of godliness. Thank God, through His kindness, we do not oppose this true. Thank God, in His kindness. Through His kindness, we do not oppose this true Rebbe. We do not oppose this true Rebbe such as this. We are working to come close to Him, and He in His compassion is constantly drawing us toward Him in awesome and wondrous ways. What can we say? What can we say? What can we give back to God for all the good He has done for us? So we must praise Him, saying the complete hallow and the great hallow, especially on Pesach, over all the true eternal kindnesses the Master of compassion, abundant loving kindness and truth has done for us. The Master of compassion, abundant loving kindness and truth has done for us. So may He continue more and more to bestow His great kindness upon us until we merit during our lives to fully and truly fulfill the Rebbe's teachings. Let us rejoice and be happy over His salvation. The words of your father and teacher Nassan of Breslov. Greetings to all our comrades with a great love. These words of mine were meant for all of you. Fortify your hearts and be strong. May God allow us to perform the Seder properly, and may the wine of the 4 cups of salvation truly bring us to joy. This is the most important thing of all, really and truly to be happy, no matter what. And addendum to what is written above on the tabernacle that Tzaddik is building. All this relates to Pesach. On the first of Nisan, the tabernacle was erected, and all the days prior to Pesach, we read from the Torah about the dedication offerings of the princes. So too the Torah readings for the Shabbos, which precede Pesach, i.e. the Torah reading Truma until the Torah reading Tzav. I'll discuss this, the tabernacle, because Pesach is bound up with the idea of loving kindness, i.e. God's miraculous kindness, whereby He looks only at the good points in each Jew. It was through this that He took us out of Egypt, and it is through this that He will take us out of this long exile. On the individual level too, He brings every person out of his own exile through this wondrous kindness. Through all this, the true tzaddik can build the tabernacle each year. Therefore, through this, we enter into Pesach, which is great loving kindness, and the verse will be fulfilled. I will celebrate and rejoice over your kindness, for you have seen my affliction and the suffering of my soul. Letter 280. With thanks to God, Tuesday, 38th day of the counting of the omaaiiinnn 5599 ummah. Greetings to my dear beloved son, the learning Rebbe Yitzchak. May he live along with all his family. Greetings and abundant salvation. I arrived here in Uman today during the time of the morning prayers. I had not yet prayed, and I was in a great hurry to do so. Just then the postman brought your letter, which I accepted immediately, and I read it right then before praying. I was pleased to see that your wish that I received your letter, the moments of my safe arrival here have been fulfilled. At the moment, I had absolutely no time to respond. From your letter, I understood your heart's distress and the many shows of relief that God is constantly giving you. I have already informed you that a person must encourage himself only with this. As our master, teacher, and rebbe said on the verse, in suffering you gave me relief. Look at the Moran 1, part 1, lesson 195. Thank God I was in Berditchev, and thank God all is well. At the moment I am resolved to stay on here until Shavuos. May God have compassion, and may it be good for all of us. May God accept your intense desire to be here with us as if you were actually here. May God accept your intense desire to be here with us as if you were actually here. Strengthen yourself to be joyful at all times, especially this coming awesome festival of Shavuos. The postman is in a great hurry, so I simply cannot go on. The words of your father, Nassim of Breslov. Letter 281. With thanks to God, Wednesday, the 39th day of the numbering of the children of Israel, the 39th day of the numbering of the children of Israel, 5599 meuman. Warm greetings to my dear beloved son, the illustrious Rebbe Yitzchak. May he live. I received your letter yesterday immediately upon my arrival, and I answered you right away to the post. Just now I received another letter from you through a messenger, the deliverer of this letter. I do not know what to write to encourage you, for I have already talked to you and written to you a great deal. Just be sure to see the words of the rebbe of sainted memory every day as if they were new. As the rabbi said, these words are awesome indeed, and every single one of them is true. Original Torah is true. Original Torah wondrous and awesome and extreme, flowing forth from the wellsprings of salvation. They are constantly renewed for anyone who sincerely reflects upon them. Each and every day entirely new and original wonders are worked with each and every day entirely new and original wonders are worked with every single creature in the world. This applies even more to the human species, and thousands upon thousands of times more to every single Jew. Even more than this does it apply to those who truly wish to come close to God and who hail in the name of the true tzaddik, the tzaddik foundation of the world, the elemental foundation, etc. What it means to be included in His holy name is explained in the lesson in the beginning. Likutei Moharan, Volume 2, Lesson 67. If I wanted to tell you a thousand of what is in my heart about this, the little that I see and understand, such that I understand and know that we know nothing at all, there would never be enough time. Thousands of pages would not be enough. Surely it was not for nothing, God forbid, that sages who were possessed of divine inspiration established for us to say every day in the morning prayers, who accomplishes new things, the master of wonders, who in his good is constantly renewing the work of creation every day. Similarly, in the Shemona Esrei, they established the Amidah. They established for us to say, for your miracles that are with us every day, for your wonders and favors that are with us all the time, evening, morning, and afternoon. Stop and think about God's ever-present wonders. And after all this, it is necessary to continually inspire oneself anew with the Rebbe's holy words, which restore the soul with delicacies of all kinds. Nachman, nachman, meuman. Which restore the soul with delicacies of all kinds, with teachings such as, I will sing to God with what I have left. Happiness and joy will take over to turn all the grief and sighing into happiness and joy. Likutei Moharan, lesson 223. Knowledgeable and halacha on the verse, if I ascend to heaven, there you are. If I go down to hell, you are here. The story of Rebbe Eliezer and Rebbe Yeshua. Wake up and sing, you who dwell in the dust, for the whole world is full of His glory. Likutei Moharan, part 2, lessons 7, 13, and many, many more. You have done great things, Lord my God. Your miracles and thoughts are for us, to give us life today in an impoverished generation such as ours, to give life and restore the souls of people such as these, pursued from every direction by livelihood and physical desires, negative character traits, and by the many people who hate us for no reason. But what comforts us in our destitution is that once in a while we feel that the verses in the Psalms were spoken about us, about each one of us individually. We ought to be happy all the time about this, because God has provided us with our treatment in advance of the crushing blow. For our master teacher and Rebbe of blessed memory was already in the world, and the tzaddikim after their passing are still called living. As our rabbi said, the Rebbe is still standing and praying for us. His words are living and enduring, and even now they are giving us life forever. Just make certain that they do not become old for you in the least, for they emanate from the mouth of the elder of elders, who boasted about himself that he was at once old and completely young. who has heard anything such as this? How could such things like these possibly grow old? To the contrary, it is physical desires, worthless activities. It is physical desires, worthless activities, and struggling for a livelihood that are old. For they come from the old and foolish king. But true words of Torah, and especially awesome, original Torah teachings, but true words of Torah, and especially awesome, original Torah teachings and wondrous, profound, and flawless words of instruction like these, they are totally new every moment of every day forever. The Rebbe's words are very deep indeed. We must take them in their simplest sense though, and then believe that they are of an amazing and awesome depth, and give us life and then believe that they are of an amazing and awesome depth, and give us life every day, particularly when our ruminations bring us to confusion and discouragement, God forbid. It is then that we must remember literally anew that we have many good points. You must recall as if the first time that you wrapped yourself in tzitzis every day, and you must recall as if for the first time that you wrap yourself in tzitzis every day, and you must think about the enormous, wondrous power of the very holy and awesome tzitzis. For the tzitzis rescue a person from sexual transgression and enable him to receive the advice of the tzaddikim, which is the seed of pure truth. Then he can merit faith, prayers, miracles, the land of Israel, etc. All this is only one lesson. Volume 1, part 7. In the lesson, I saw a golden candelabra. Part 1, lesson 8. Different awesome marvels are taught about the tzitzis, and there are many more. The same thing is true for tefillin, Shabbos, the festivals, charity, and so on. Ashreinu. How fortunate we that we are not opponents of a revelation such as this, which took place in our times, and we merit to wear tzitzis every day, and also tefillin, etc. And we merit to know about lessons such as these, and to know about the lesson of Zamra, that every single good point is very, very precious indeed. With this lesson, we can rejoice and be happy every day. It is our strength and our lights. It is our strength and our lights. The carrier is in a hurry to leave, so I must keep it short. The words of your Father waiting to inspire and bring you and your friends to happiness over the joy of being a Jew and of having the Holy Torah at all times, now and forever. Omaaiinnn, us and the rest of extended, loving greetings to all our comrades with the great eternal love forever and ever. Lesson 282. With thanks to God, Wednesday, Nasr, 5599 Uman, to my dear learned son, Rebbe Yitzchak. May he live along with all his family and his beautiful children. May they live peace, life, and all good. I received your letter, i.e. the one written before Shavuos, yesterday through the post. Though it did not arrive here, it arrived here until Yisrochag. Last night I received another letter from you through a messenger, the carrier of this letter. At the moment I am extremely busy and rushing to start off on my safe journey to Kremenchug, together with Rebbe Ephraim, and may his light shine. But your strong desire for my letters has forced me to give you a response, though I have no time for it. Since I have not yet recited the morning prayers, there is neither time nor space on the page to tell you about this past Shavuos. You will hear what you will hear from Reb Nachman, God willing. Delight and rejoice in God's salvation. I also talked to the bezH about you and said that I hope to God that you will be able to be here with us for Shavuos in the future with God's help. Now, my son, fortify yourself to be and be strong. Trust in God. He will not abandon you. Everything will turn into good. May you merit to have the horse be subordinate to the rider and to steer him as you wish. The explanation of which you will hear and understand from the aforementioned. May the verse become fulfilled for you and me and for all of Israel, and they will seek the Lord their God and David their king. Amen. The words of your Father praying for you, nach nachman, nachman meuman. Meuman. Lesson 283 with links to God, Tuesday night Shlach, 5599 Shirin. Let the hills bear greetings to my honored and beloved brothers and friends, precious Jews, the noble ones of God's people in the holy community of Breslov, and in particular to my sons. May they live. I came here to screen for Shabbos, Pashas Nosai, and may God and all is well. All was well. Last Wednesday, I was ready to travel to Kremenchug, as I had discussed with Ephraim before he set out from here. But it is God who guides a man's steps, and I received notice from there that for several reasons I should not travel there until receiving word from there about when to come. So I thought that on Thursday I would go to Medvedivka and from there return home. Subsequently, though, I considered the matter with my Creator, the great advisor who illuminated it for me. I then decided to stay here in Shirin this past Shabbos as well, and that is what I did. So I spent last Shabbos here on the other side of the river in the main part of the town where the study hall is. at the home of my friend, the illustrious Reb Hirsch, Reb Ephraim's son. May his lights shine. Thank God, I was very happy. And Reb Hirsch and his joy danced. Thank God, I was very happy. And Reb Hirsch and his joy danced a great deal. So did Reb Bear. May his light shine. And even more so did the young men among our comrades. May they live. Through his great kindness, he spoke many true words of Torah that restore the soul. I would very much like to write to you about them here, but there's neither enough time nor space on the page. On Friday, I received notice from Kremenchuk that I should come there, and I set out on Sunday, the 20th of Sivan. On Monday, I received, and I set out on Sunday, the 20th of Sivan. On Monday, I recited, and I set out on Sunday, the 20th of Sivan. On Monday, I recited the morning prayers in a village more than 2 parsecs, about 8 miles from here. Our friend Rebbe Avram Ber, may he live, was also traveling with me, as was Reb Nachman, son of Reb Shmuel Yitzchak. At the conclusion of the prayers, Reb Ephraim himself came to us with the illustrious Reb Yaakov. They were traveling to bezH, and they advised me to return to Turin, since without Reb Ephraim I have nothing to do there in Kremenchuk. So I came back, and I am now here in Turin. Thank God, I am cheering myself because I believe that everything is a great favor. I am cheering myself because I believe that everything is a great favor. Today, Reb Yitzchak, the son-in-law of the Maggid of Teravitze, came here. My intention now is to travel to Medvedivka for next Shabbos, and from there to return to Kremenchuk the following Shabbos. By then it is possible that Rebbe Ephraim will come home. My eyes are lifted to heaven, that he will guide me with his good counsel and lead me on paths of righteousness for the sake of his name. Thank God I do not have the burden of paying the carriage driver who was hired for the week. And also that I have neither wheats. Thank God I do not have the burden of paying the carriage driver who is hired for the week, and also that I have neither wheats nor linen in Odessa. The precious holy merchandise that I trade in is better than any other, and thank God it is available everywhere I go, especially since in His amazing kindness God has given me the tongue of the learned that knows how to talk about the awesome new teachings that were revealed in our times, teachings that give life and restore the souls of all who honestly listen to them. This is my comfort amidst my destitution. Your words has given me life. Your word has given me life. And if the funds collected are only very scant, and even then only through a great miracle still, I will cast my burden on God that He will not abandon me. So, my brothers and friends, because of our intense and enormous love, I have given you a short account of a few of my travels, in order that you may remotely know and understand a little of what I'm going through. Everything is for the best, though, even on a physical level. Look closely now at what we're doing. Look at all the hints that God has given to every person every day in order to bring him closer to Him. Remember well what I talked about this past Holy Shavuos, to really look for and search out true, deep advice, which is the Spirit to really look for and search out true, to really look for and search out true, deep advice, which is the Spirit of holiness of the true tzaddik. Then we will merit to refine our imaginative faculty and to have it be nullified before the true intellect. The rider will not be subordinate to the horse, but the horse will be subordinate to nullify before the rider. Look in the Medrash here, Shem Rabbah 148 on the verse, I liken you to the horses among the chariots of Paro. The Medrash there speaks at length about how God waged war against Paro in many different ways. When Paro came out with a red horse, a white horse, or a black horse, God responded in kind. When the wicked Paro came out in an armor and helmet, God, so to speak, did the same. Paro broke kerosene, catapults, and arrows. Paro thundered and shouted with his voice, and God, so to speak, did the same in return. Look it up in the Medrash. This is an extremely curious Medrash, but each person can glean from it many amazing hints for himself. For Paro is representative of the imagination, as explained elsewhere in Kutum Volume 1, Lesson 454, Part 6. And in accordance with this, each person can explain the words of this Medrash in terms of himself. Paro, the evil of the imaginative faculty, makes war against a person in a different way every time. A person's main battle is with his thoughts. His good thoughts are his good urge, and his bad thoughts are his evil urge. Look at the Maran, Part 1, Volume 1, Lesson 49, Part 1. The latter being the evil in the imagination. It is this evil which constantly goes out to battle against the holy intellect with all kinds of bad ruminations and confusion of different sorts in just the manner described in that Medrash. One time it comes out with a red horse, another time with the white one, then with the black horse. then wearing armor and helmet, then with kerosene, catapults, arrows, and so on. And as he thunders with his voice and causes confusion with his voice, the war is difficult and very drawn out. Finally, God himself must wage war with him, bringing out also a red horse, etc., causing confusion and thunder with his holy voice, as it is written, the highest gave his voice. An intelligent person who wants the truth can understand how he experiences all this. The main advice for this is to do just what Israel did at the Red Sea when they raised up their eyes, and there were the Egyptians, i.e. the imaginative faculty coming after them with 600 of the finest chariots, i.e. the chariots of the other side, which are all the horses, etc., mentioned in the Medrash. For as explained in the Rebbe's holy teachings, Letrufah part 1, lesson 233, holy thoughts are holy animals, which are the chariot for holiness, and bad thoughts are impure animals, the chariot of the other side. It is essentially in this realm that the war is won. But when you defeat them a little, they repeatedly rally themselves and rise up against in a literally infinite variety of ways. Just as described in the Medrash, it is therefore necessary to cry out to God a great deal, as did Israel, who took up the craft of their ancestors and cried out to the Lord. For if the Holy One, blessed be He, did not help a person, he would not be able to prevail against the evil urge. Sukkah 52a. This is what is taught in that Medrash, that on each occasion God himself has to do bad with Paro, who is the concept of the evil in the imaginative faculty. Look up what is written there in the continuation of that Medrash. After Paro ran out of weapons, the Holy One, blessed be He, began to taunt him. Don't you have wind? Don't you have wings? Don't you have wind? Don't you have wings? Don't you have cherubim? And where did he let all these loose from? From between the wheels of the chariot. Every person must be a chariot for God. The tzaddikim are God's chariot. The person cannot be a chariot for God himself. At least he must seek the true tzaddik and nullify himself to him. Then he will be a chariot to the true tzaddik, and consequently will be God's chariot as well. He will merit to refine his imagination until he attains perfect faith that God created the world from nothing and controls its every detail, and will then attain the song of love and kindness that will be played on 72 strings. Volume 2, part 8, 9 and 10, part 8 in there, 9 and 10. Look at the halachas, shluchim 5. Fortunately, it's the ear that hears this even now. Rejoice in God that we have escaped from being opponents of a holy, awesome, and true light such as this. What is more, we see from a distance a glimmer of the light of His holy teaching. Salvation is God's, that we will merit to feel and taste even more the sweetness of His holy teaching, of His holy Torah teachings. Even more the sweetness of His holy Torah teaching, so that we will attain the true goal of the Jew, ultimate contentment and joy. Your face, eternal bliss at your right hand, ultimate contentment and joy. Your face, eternal bliss at your right hand, the words of your true eternal friend, Nasan Abresla, my beloved son, send this letter, or at least a copy of it, with my son, Shachne. May his light shine to my son, your brother Rebbe Yitzchak. May his light shine in Tulchin, to inspire him and those of your comrades who are there. To inspire him and those of your comrades. To inspire him and those of your comrades who are there. Warm greetings to all of them with a great love. Warm greetings also to you, also to your son, my lovely grandson of Nachman, may he live. He had a large share in the teaching of last Shavuos, as I will tell you about, God willing, if you wish. Nachman.